He's a you're fired guy, outsourcing jobs, stiffing contractors, being against minimum wage, being against equal pay for women, fighting with labor. He's a you're fired guy. And if you want a you're fired president, well, you got a choice. But we're making a different choice. We want a you're hired president, a you're hired president. It starts with fairness, equal pay for women, raising the minimum wage so that you can live on it.
We've heard it all before. We're going to hear it all again. Hillary Clinton will gather her forces, including her soon-to-be newly minted vice president. Together in Philadelphia next week, and America will be subjected to several days of left-wing counterpunching at Donald Trump and everything that is Republican. Democrats will vigorously applaud every word and every promise. Republicans will scoff at every syllable, firing back that nothing emanating from the mouth of this Clinton has any bearing in truth, because as a verifiable liar, there's no reason to trust her vile untruths. The media will cover it. The public will knee-jerk. There will be charges ranging from everything about partisanship to how Hillary is so out of touch she likely has never even tasted real Cheese Whiz, much less put it on a Philly steak sandwich. Okay? But there has to be more than just the same old cliches, the same old rolling of the eyes, the same old verby volleying, right? Right? Let your voice be heard. You get on the line right now. Get in line. 1-877-NEWSMAX. 1-877-639-7629. Now our voices. Let's welcome a rock-solid constitutional conservative political commentator across the broadcast board. Her thoughts can be read at libertyjuice.com. She is not so quickly convinced Donald Trump is the answer. Brittany Pounders. Joined by conservative activist, Newsmax insider, host of the Julio Rivera Show on Lanterns Radio Network, the self-described conserva-rican Julio Rivera. I want to thank you both for joining us. My goodness, the power of Facebook speaks. All right. Brittany, I'm going to go ahead and start with you because we just heard from Tim Kaine. The Republicans are over. The Democrats are going to start next week. I know that you are not a Donald Trump fan. However, there are those who will look at you, and we've had them on the show, and they're watching right now, who will say that if you, Brittany, vote for Donald Trump, you are ensuring that Hillary Clinton gets in the White House. Or if you don't vote for Donald Trump, vote for anybody else. You're ensuring that she gets there. What do you say to those people?
I say they should have thought about that before they nominated the man with the highest and favorable rating since 1984, with the exception of David Duke. Look, we have a guy who's our nominee who's the ultimate salesman and knows how to manipulate gullible voters by using tactics of fear. And his supporters are largely made of groups of people who operate largely on emotion, have given little thought to policy, and who have such a hysteria over Hillary that they've lost the ability to see how similar the two nominees are.
All right. Now, wait a minute. That's something interesting. Julio, I'm going to let you respond to that. Because when Brittany says how close the two nominees really are, do you agree with that?
I don't, because an administration is a collective of party. It's going to be Donald Trump. It's going to be Mike Pence. It's going to be Republican cabinet appointments, Republican leadership, Republican appointees to different bureaucracies working on different issues within the government. Hillary Clinton's just going to line up the cabinet with a bunch of communists, probably, or really, hardcore leftists, you can say at least, and it's going to look completely different. The end result is that we didn't get the conservative that we thought we needed, and that we certainly do need, but we have something much, much better in Donald Trump versus what you're guaranteed with Hillary Clinton.
Let's talk about conservatives here for a moment, because Ted Cruz is the guy who created an awful lot of grief for a lot of people at the Republican National Convention this week. Donald Trump said this morning that makes no difference. Ted Cruz, you can tell me that you want to endorse me, but I am done with you. Here's what he said.
Just to finish with Ted, because I like Ted, he's fine. Again, I don't want his endorsement. If he gives it, I will not accept it, just so you understand. If he gives it, I will not accept it. It won't matter.
So, Brittany, two parts here. In your opinion, was Ted Cruz the conservative that the GOP needed, and do you believe that he committed political suicide?
You know what? I am a Texas girl, and I fought hard for Cruz to win the Senate. I probably made 1,000,001 phone calls at our phone bank when he was running for Senate. When he ran for president, I had some big issues with him, and I did not pull the lever for him in our primary. I voted for Rubio. But I'll tell you what, whenever he got up and refused to endorse that man, that lunatic, he walked into a lion's den. He took on the booing, the screams, the hatred. That, to me, defined a real leader in that moment. And I had such respect for that man that I had probably found my right in if the election was today.
What about those who say that it's integrity that's at stake here, and it's his integrity? He said that he was going to vote for the nominee, and he should follow through. You know that they're out there.
Well, you know what? When you're engaged to a man who knocks you around during your engagement, you have no obligation to continue on with that commitment. And that's exactly what has happened with Donald Trump. We have found out who he is. The mask has been revealed. He's a big government liberal. Probably we found the one person that may be more of a degenerate than Hillary Clinton. And there is no obligation for any voter, I don't care if you were running or not, to vote for this person. And so I would have zero respect for a man who would allow another man to treat his family that way, and have zero respect for anybody who would expect a man like that to endorse him.
1-877 Newsmax if you want to comment here. Julio, let me then turn a little bit more to Hillary Clinton, because we mentioned Philadelphia next week. Here we go. The Democrats get their chance to come back. What do you think? Now, I mentioned this at the top of this segment. We've heard all the charges before. We've heard all the insults here from both sides. What do you think, if indeed you think, the Democrats and Hillary are going to come up with something of a surprise next week? Anything new they can say to get people away from thinking that she's nothing more than a bald-faced liar?
I don't understand why they're even going to nominate her. They have their system of superdelegates. If there was any way to put someone other than someone who's already been tried and convicted in the court of popular opinion, she's crooked Hillary. Everybody knows her and thinks of her as a criminal already. There's no way that you can win, I think, with Hillary Clinton if you're a Democrat. People think that Donald Trump can't win. I think Hillary Clinton has a lot less of a chance winning this time around than like Mitt Romney did last time for Republicans.
Well, what are they going to do, though, Julio? I mean, sure, okay, what you've said makes a lot of sense to a lot of people here, that she's lied so much that nobody... Wait a minute. The polls show that she's either even, or the averages show us that she's up by 3 points in the nation. Hillary supporters are like Donald Trump supporters. They're going to stick with their guns.
I don't know. I mean, I think that a lot of the map is red. We have, almost a supermajority in the House. I think that there's a lot of people that want to vote Republican. They may not find that Donald Trump is particularly their cup of tea, but if they want to change the direction of the country, you have to do it. To the people that, the never Trump or whatever they want to call it, you can't think that way. In 3 years, we're going to have a 6-3 or 7-2 Supreme Court going the way of the liberals. By 2020, when we're supposedly going to have that conservative revolution, we're going to probably by that time have millions of legalized illegal immigrants being able to vote. You're never going to get a Republican if you don't do it now. You're never going to get one in the future, because by 2020 it's going to be a lost cause.
Brittany, I was going to take this conversation in a different area, but Julio's just opened the door here. Aren't you afraid of everything he just said?
You know what? Republicans have to stop making themselves feel better about this. Making a choice between arsenic and strychnine does not make anybody morally superior.
It's completely different.
No, it's not. And Julio, you're putting your party before your country. Don't talk to me about your country. I'm not sure what happened to you. I follow you on social media. You used to be a strong voice for conservative principles, and you were solid.
I am a strong voice for conservative principles.
No, it's easy. No, but I've learned. I've seen this happen before. Let me finish. Let me finish. It is easy to be a strong voice for your beliefs when you're standing with a lot of people who stand behind you. Either your beliefs changed because Trump did not, because you used to have nothing in common with this man, or you caved when the pressure got tough.
Okay, hang on a sec, Brittany. Hang on one sec. Time out. Go ahead. I love being a referee here. You had your chance. I got to go out. I'm running out of time. 30 seconds to you, Julio. Answer up.
Listen, just like Ted Cruz made a pledge to support the nominee, I've always said that I will vote for whoever the Republicans nominate, because it's going to be day and night difference between what we're guaranteed to get with Hillary Clinton.
The Supreme
Court
hang on, Brittany. Let him finish.
The Supreme Court is a legitimate concern. Illegals being able to vote is a legitimate concern. You're going to lose the country because you didn't get your way. I don't get it.
You think Trump's going to put in a SCOTUS nominee that's actually going to restrain him? And if you know how to read policy, you know that his immigration policy is nothing but gold-plated touchback amnesty.
Okay, I'm going to have to end it there, unfortunately, but I tell you what, I think we have found a brand new pairing here, and I'm going to have to be watching, because I'm going to see if anybody defriends anybody here in the next 8 minutes, just to be sure. Brittany Pounders, Julio Rivera, it's a pleasure to have you both on the show. We're going to do it again. I love your passion. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon. Let's squeeze a quick phone call in here. This is Joe in my old hanging grounds of Walpole, Massachusetts. You want Trump to soften some of his comments. Why? He's done very well with the way he's done it so far, Joe.
Well, my friend, I'll tell you, I follow the convention faithfully here, and I'm just saying, if that, that hardness, what am I saying?
Okay, he's a tough guy. You want him to soften up, but I got to move on. Are you going to vote for him?
I'm going to vote for him, yes, but we got to kind of divide this a little bit and just tell Mr. Trump, slow it down a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. The train's a little bit fast than you'd care to.
Okay, I'll agree with that real quick. And all I got to say to you is one last thing before I let you go, Joe. Go Bruins, okay? Everything's good from there on out as long as we're rooting for the Bruins. I'm out of time. We got to move on. Thank you for the phone calls. We'll do more. We got to have those two back on again. That's good TV right there. We're going to close out the week with more good TV. We're going to talk to you about something that everybody knows about. It's something that really makes Americans lazy. You're lazy. A lot of people are. We're going to tell you why, and the car coach is going to dig into it next, right here on The Hardline.